Day 4 of the 100-hour fast.
Yep.
How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Ready to eat.
How'd that 6-mile run feel this morning? 6 3/4.
Terrible. Yeah, definitely the most I've run in a fasting state this week. I think total is like a little over 13 miles in total.
Significant.
Yeah, not fun.
How are like the pain points? Because I noticed you weren't quite as whiny about your painful feet this time.
We weren't moving as fast today for sure, but it was just sore muscles mostly.
Yeah. But because Blaine has got like a ton of like just scar tissue buildup all throughout his calves. So part of the rehabilitation process of becoming healthier is like ripping that free as you're getting adjusted so it can heal normally because it's not healed normally.
Yep.
And so would you say that maybe just didn't notice as much, or just you weren't pushing yourself as much where you weren't feeling the ripping free?
I mean, honestly, it was just so sore. My legs are just sore from running too today.
Just a general soreness.
General soreness, yeah. Just general unpleasantness from the get-go.
So
I mean, literally, we
sore.
started, and it was just like 2 steps in, I was like, well, this is going to be a doozy.
It was a doozy for me, too.
Yeah.
Because I typically, my heart rate doesn't even get up above what a walking pace would be when we're running together. And it was up there today. And your son, Logan, took off ahead of us. And my pride usually would not allow that to happen. And I wasn't up to it. I wasn't up to chase him down. And he ran 8 faster than we ran 6 3/4.
Yeah.
Freaking stud. Freaking stud. You gotta be so proud.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's flying.
Yeah, he is.
He was flying. So day 4 of starving yourself.
Fasting.
You're fasting. Yes. Should we talk about like what someone that's doing a 100-hour fast, like what they should kind of plan for? Because tomorrow, technically, the 100 hours is up at 1:30 tonight for me.
Yeah, mine's up at actually like 10:30 because I was done eating at 6:30.
That's smart. Are you gonna eat at 10:30?
No, obviously.
You're just gonna go be asleep bed. Okay.
Yeah.
No, you got a meeting tonight.
Yeah, I do have a meeting tonight, but I'll be done at 9.
Okay.
So I'll just I gotta cook my food for tomorrow tonight. So I'm literally cooking the food right in front of my own face.
Like as of right now, like all food sounds really good.
Yeah, literally just a scoop of
butter,
bacon grease, or eating a chunk of butter sounds amazing.
Yeah. That's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Watching Survivor last night, like they're eating like the disgusting challenges, and I'm like, yeah, I'd do that. I would right now. Which is like a weird thing for me. It's like I don't feel like it's not what I would describe as my hunger pain. Like it's like usually when I'm hungry, I'm like I am freaking physically in pain. Like I want to eat.
It's almost like a primal instinct to be like I can eat that, therefore I want to eat that.
Yeah. It's different. It's different than what I would describe as like a hunger pain. It's just like I want.
Yeah.
Like a fat kid wants cake. So Blaine, I've never done this before. So Blaine introduced me to the idea of fasting, also with the cold plunge. And because of him already experiencing it, I'm now healthier because he shared this with me, and then we've done it together. And now I learned the neuroscience behind it. Now we can share with people out in the world.
Mutual suffering.
Yeah. for more joy, right?
Yeah.
You do the bad in order to feel better. And so you've done quite a few fasts. So what for anyone doing like 100-hour cleanse or fast, how do they go back into eating? Like what should they kind of plan on eating, but then also plan on like experiencing as they enter back into it to have the best experience?
Best experience. I mean, the general recommendation is like a meat broth, like a bone broth kind of thing.
Okay. Just because it's easy on the stomach.
Yeah,
it's
basically
got good minerals in it.
Yeah, it's liquid.
Yeah.
Your stomach's, fairly shut down at this point, other than taking in the, water.
And salt.
And maybe tea, like, if you're not going like that hardcore, a little bit of tea doesn't really take you out of the fasting state.
0 to 5 calories per cup, we found out.
Yeah. It could be up as high as 5. Yeah. I didn't know it was that high.
10 full cups of tea could take you out of it.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Don't go crazy
Don't
with
go
it.
crazy on the tea.
But you can have a cup. You can have a cup of black coffee too. It doesn't take you out of it.
Yeah.
Might not settle with you while having pure coffee, but
It settles great with me.
yeah, to each their own.
Yeah. Blaine shamed me a little bit on it, and I'm like, "This is all I have, Blaine."
Yeah. So broth is the general recommendation, but me personally, I typically just go to ground beef or bacon, the highest fat content you can find for your ground beef, and just start with like a tablespoon or two, just like 2 scoops. Eat it, let it settle, go all the way down, see how it's feeling. Typically, I don't have any problems going straight to ground beef or bacon, but I've had sometimes I come off a fast and it's like could have gone with broth this time, but.
What? Because you just get like
just
crampy or gurgly,
yeah.
like feel sick.
Yeah, it's weird. I know it's almost like it's like the process is starting, and so the startup process can be a little much with some things. Definitely don't go anything. I wouldn't go with sugar at all.
Okay.
Made that mistake once.
What'd you have?
I think it was like an orange or something like that, and that could have been the citrus too. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It was like coming out of it, something sweet was.
Not good. You just felt sick to your stomach, or what? Was
Yeah. It doesn't feel great.
You vomited up? You throw up? No. You feel like you're gonna throw up?
It was unpleasant, but I wouldn't say it was the point of throwing up.
Like cramping.
But it was just like, like, whoo, crush. So, I mean, generally speaking, if you're actually out hunting, you're kind of like taking those little bites the whole time.
Yeah,
like,
you wouldn't be in a true fasted state.
Yeah, most of the time you're not going to be in a true fasted state. Like when I was out backpacking the last time, there was just like perfect time of year. It was like blueberries and blueberries and huckleberries. Like you pass a bush and you just grab it. And there you go. You just grab a couple little, pick off a little bit.
Little snack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what you would normally have, little bits of fruit that you just literally find right there as you're walking. Not a lot of veg though, because that stuff's pretty. When you're hunting, your eye is kind of looking more for movement and bright, and so you typically see fruit.
Okay.
So.
So really like the pretty simple takeaways is broth kind of things. How about like a smoothie? Would a smoothie be good?
Yeah, I'm sure smoothie's probably gonna be all right.
Okay. And then, so it's because it's already broken down, so it doesn't make the work for your stomach.
Yeah. I mean, I would stay away from stuff that has like very, like strong acid, or because you don't have any.
Yeah. You haven't produced any for a bit.
Yeah. It's gonna have to start producing it again, kind of thing. So that's kind of one of the staying away from like strong flavored food. Like when I say ground beef is what I'm going to prepare for tomorrow, it's going to be like lightly salted and like that's it. Like a little bit of salt in there, no other seasonings. Too much.
You said a little bacon on top though. You said the other day.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Well, it'll be take like I said, take a couple spoons, let it sit for 5-10 minutes. It typically is like okay.
So a couple bites. 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, feel it out. I mean, like. It hits your stomach pretty quick.
Does it?
So if it feels like it's causing problems, then just wait a little longer. It's like let things start up a little slower.
I guess that's kind of one of the benefits of someone that has struggles with overeating, right? Is that you have to retrain that stretch reflex and that like satiation feeling. You're retraining the stomach, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
And what about like bitter stuff? Is bitter stuff good? You think?
I
like
mean,
bourbon would be good?
I've never heard of anybody breaking a fast with bourbon, but I don't know. Bitter, yeah. Bourbon would be, or anything bitter. I'm not sure. That'd be a weird one.
Yeah, well, I think of like the bitter, like we talked about the other day, how traditionally people would have like salads first, would it be bitter greens, and so maybe that'd be too much roughage then on the stomach to maybe not be pleasant.
Yeah.
That's kind of the goal, is like get the full benefit and make it suck less.
Yeah. Try and make it suck as least as possible. Everybody's going to be a little different. The broth thing is fairly universal, but like what you can ingest right away. I know some mad lads who are just like, oh yeah, I'm off my fast and I'm just going to eat this whole meal, and it's just a normal meal.
You don't, no problem.
No problem.
No problem at all.
No.
Okay. Well,
no.
Yeah. I think there's Connie's doing the fast, so she's coming in later. I'm able to do an interview with her and get some like post like fast like reflections.
Yeah. The big thing is I'm going to say is after you're done with the fast, whatever your goal was for this fast, like keep that in mind as you're breaking it. So if you're trying to control your hunger, then try and make plans to try and continue to do that, even though you're not fasting anymore. You know, you're now at the we're at the 0 point where we don't have anything in our system, and we're going to start eating again because you need to. And this is the perfect opportunity to be like, I'm going, instead of going hog wild and be like, I'm going to eat all the things.
That's what I was planning.
Yeah. Instead of just going, I'm going to eat all the things now, we're just going to actually control, like specifically like, oh, hey, this is a good time if you are trying to initiate an elimination diet and you've been having trouble with it. You're currently in the maximum elimination diet. You know, fasting is you eliminated everything except for like water and a few very few things.
Yep.
You know, you get hot water, cold water, seltzer water. You know,
and they're all so good. Like the variations of water. You never appreciated it so much.
Yeah, right.
The fastest state. What were your goals coming into this fast? I mean, I kind of was like, hey, Blaine, I'm gonna do this. You in? And like everything, you're like, hell yeah.
Well, I mean, fasts. I've already done quite a few of them, so to just be like, hey, you want to do a fast? It's like, yeah, sure. So for me, it's always just like I do them regularly.
Yeah.
I was already doing them regularly anyway, so it's just like it's a good reset. It's like, oh, hey, you know, it resets hormones, like all kinds of different things get reset and starting fresh.
Yeah.
So it's a great thing to experience, and you're kind of, as you're coming back into eating now, you're kind of at this baseline of like, yeah, my system has not had any food in it. The gut microbes are basically bare minimum right now, and they're going to have to populate, which may give you odd bowel movements. That is a thing that happens. So like, if you're eating first thing in the morning tomorrow, because your time is like 1 p.m. or whatever.
Yeah. 1 a.m.
1 a.m. Yeah. So if you're eating first thing in the morning tomorrow, by the end of the day, you might have a weird one.
Okay.
Because it's like, oh, hey, the stuff hasn't been activated fully yet.
Yeah.
And so some of the first bit will just pass.
Okay.
Typically.
Just not much absorption because the system motility has to be reestablished. Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting because you get adjusted now multiple times a day. So it'd be interesting to see, because you've done so many fasts, like what the difference would be from like regular fast before to like now highly adaptive fasting. So
yeah,
that'd be
interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
I am looking forward to see how coming out of this fast is going to be.
Right.
And I'm going to try and push like, I still do the 2 spoon thing. It's kind of a risk mitigation, but I'm probably going to eat a pretty full meal.
I'm definitely going to I think I'm going to feel terrible tomorrow. Because I'm going to be, all the things. I'm going to eat all the things.
Yeah, so if you're trying to kick sugar, you haven't had sugar for the whole fast, then it's perfect. Just don't get back into the habit, and those microbes won't grow back.
And one of the things that I think would be a good talking point now that I talk quite a bit in the Fog to Fire book is what's called the reticular activating system. And so, are you familiar with this?
I am not.
Yeah, it's an RAS system. And basically, have you ever noticed that, like when you drive home, sometimes it's like you kind of zone out. You're like, oh, I'm home. Like, you just kind of go on autopilot.
It's happened on occasion.
Yeah.
And Ever
keeps you engaged. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to watch out for people.
Yeah. Well, and the reason for that is like it's because our brain's always kind of like when we talked about putting the computer to sleep.
Yeah.
It's like it's always moving things out of working memory into automatic memory, which doesn't take up as much bandwidth.
Yeah.
And so, like, really, a lot of the things like our eating habits they're automatic. They are.
Yeah.
The reticular activating system has just said this is what the habit is, and it's automatic. And so, this 100-hour fast for me has been a good opportunity to put some focus. And my main focus going into this was to experience more joy on a daily basis, especially through challenges. Which, through when you're not eating, it's amazing how much more bandwidth you have to research things. So I've been researching substantia nigra and understanding dopamine production, which
you get a few hours back out of your day.
Oh my gosh, it's incredible. It's weird.
It's like how many you don't even think about it's shopping, it's the cooking,
yes,
and then the eating of it, and then the cleaning up. So it's like a significant portion of your day is revolved around food, even if you're even just doing a dinner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. And then think about like after you eat a meal, it's like how you have that like lag time, right? That downtime. It's like go to any business after lunch, and the energy is completely different than before lunch. You know?
Yeah.
Everyone's just kind of like, ugh.
Yeah. Zoned.
Yeah, zoned. Yeah. And so, like, really, if you can kind of come into the idea of coming out of the fast, of like you're retraining the reticular activating system. So really, you have one more month. You have a month to like purposefully decide what you want to do as far as your eating habits are concerned. And knowing that what we've already talked about with neurology, it's like you can stimulate digestion by eating something bitter before you have a main meal. You can time your meals so that you are and really the research I've seen is it's like most men should, especially like 25 years old up, would benefit from like an intermittent fasting eating cycle, like where they're eating once a day, kind of either late afternoon or like early evening, and
the earlier you can eat your biggest meal, the better.
Yeah, so like afternoon, like where there typically be like the heat of the day and like a siesta in like the more Latino countries.
Yeah, well, that makes sense because most prey animals, are bedded down in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
So your hunting party goes out in the morning as early as possible to catch them go to the watering hole.
Yeah.
Then you take the middle of the day off, eat your biggest meal. Maybe you got success from the morning. And you go back out before dark. Dusk is another good time.
Yeah.
So, and the others, we just don't sleep as well if your stomach's still digesting. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. And so I think that's if you want more, any of the stuff that you want more information on, just comment below, and then we can fill it in. And we're gonna have to take care of somebody in a couple minutes, so shut it off. Anything else?
No.
Good order.
No.
Yesterday was easy. Today is a different kind of feeling. It's still easy. It's just I don't feel good.
Yeah, it's not the hunger or stomach or anything. It's literally just my legs, because like I said, this is just the most I've worked out.
Significant. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I would equivocate it to. It's almost like that like ease you feel after like a big race, like after doing a marathon, that like just like for me I don't get often with my energy levels. So I'm appreciating it. Thanks for introducing me to it. Okay. Any other questions for feedback? Comment below. Oh, one last thing, because I wanted to reflect on this a little bit, because this is a unique experience. We do mission work in the Dominican Republic, and the most families that we serve and go in and treat villages and take care of people, and most villages, like the standard, if they're good, healthy families, is to eat once a day, but it's not a meal. I mean, it's a little bit of rice or whatever plantains or they have left over. And so we are going to be, for the rest of this month until we leave on June 5th, we're going to be doing a drive in here for things like school supplies, for the community center we support. And so we'll be talking about that the rest of this month. Because really, when it comes down to families, like right now, it's Americans are kind of all struggling financially, and it's, they have to choose between like new clothes for their kids for school next year, or, basic healthcare needs. Like pretty much like in the DR, like that's their choice is send my kids to school and not have food, or don't send my kids to school, which then continues the poverty cycle. So we'll be talking about that, and I've gained a new appreciation what it is to like really like not have food, and like how that just it fixates your mind, and like I could see how like a lot of things like crimes and like desperation comes out of not being hungry, because it literally is like you smell food or you see food and it's like, oh, and I can see how that would be if that was your culture, and that's like every day that you live this, that's like how that pushes people to do things that they wouldn't normally do. So any support with that would be greatly appreciated, and we'll talk about that the rest of this month.
Later.
See ya.